What up? What up? It's your boy Rich. Real Talk with Rich is back in the building one more again. It's your boy Rich hanging out with you on tonight. Glad you could be here. Uh-oh, got echo. So yeah, hope everybody had a wonderful weekend, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, so hope, I had a awesome weekend. Rested, uh, had a good time. Went to church this morning, preached a little bit, and came home, and the wife hooked up some neck bones and some pinto beans and some cornbread. Yeah, yeah, it was all good. So yeah, man, had a great weekend again, getting ready to start the week. Glad you're here. I want to shout out to Black Comic Lords, Black Superheroes Forever fam. And as you come in the building, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're feeling a little generous, hit us with a super chat. Every dollar matters. Every dollar counts. Trust and believe. Every dollar counts. So it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? We've been gallivanting all over the country, you know what I'm saying, doing our thing. So yeah, we'll get into those shenanigans a little bit later. Want to say what's going on to Robert Monroe Jr., King Sigma, who's first in the building tonight. What up? What up? Pericles, what's good? Kay, what's happening? Mawan, good evening, good evening, good evening. So yeah, glad you guys could be here. And again, tell a friend, tell a hater, it's all good. We live and we're doing our thing. So yeah. So we don't want to prolong the time. As you know, I have been planting my Black Lightning flag in the ground. Where is Black Lightning? He has been missing in action. And I have been asking y'all to, if you see him, holler at your boy. We need to get Jefferson Pierce back in comic books. For whatever reason, they didn't want to give my man no love. I told everybody I will not be happy until we get a self-titled Black Lightning book. So our first segment tonight is Low-Hanging Fruit. That's a segment of our show where we talk about the news. Since we're talking about Jefferson Pierce, our first article tonight, in fact, brings us the news that Black Lightning and his daughters, Thunder and Lightning, will head up Justice League's Crisis Response Unit in new DC All-In comic book. Black Lightning will headline his own DC All-In title, and he's bringing his daughters, Thunder and Lightning, with him. Black Lightning is returning to headline his own solo comic as part of DC's upcoming All-In publishing initiative, as seen in the DC Full November 2024 solicits. And he's bringing his superpowered daughters, Thunder and Lightning, with him on a mission of outreach between the superhero community and non-powered humans in the post-absolute power DC universe. Writer Brandon Thomas teams up with artist Fico Ossio for the 5-issue limited series, which kicks off a new era of Black Lightning, complete with new looks for the whole Pierce family. Jefferson Pierce, who is Black Lightning, Anissa Pierce, who is Thunder, and Jennifer Pierce, which is Lightning herself, designed by Ossio himself. The return of the Pierce family also brings some evolving powers for Thunder, which will put her in a dangerous position as the world still reels from the anti-superhero backlash created by Amanda Waller in the current Absolute Power limited series. To help, Jefferson is joining a newly rebuilt Justice League Unlimited as part of a crisis response unit that helps emerging metahumans with their powers. This story is highly personal for Jefferson because he's dealing with this help of his young daughter, Jennifer, and effectively combining his roles as both superhero and educator. Writer Brandon Thomas tells The Beat, who first announced the Black Lightning comic, his oldest daughter, Anissa, plays a key role in the series as someone whose powers have changed after Absolute Power and is in dire need of her father's help. And while the Pierce family struggles to hold it all together, a mystery rival consolidates power and legitimacy, weaponizing public sentiment that declares Waller was right to fear these power-mad gods, he concludes. So as you check out the gallery there as far as the designs for Black Lightning, I think it's pretty cool. And yeah, so There's going to be a cover by Sanford Green and Torrin Clark and Juliet Ninika to check into, I would say, choose from. Black Lightning is finally back, and this time it is a family affair with Jefferson Pierce leading the Justice League New Metahuman Outreach. So that's what's up, y'all. Black Lightning is returning. So I'm going to give a hand clap. What took y'all so long? That's all I'm going to say. My man Amir says, 1 in 100 podcast. What up, OG? I already requested this one. I'm so excited for Black Lightning. Did you see the Sanford Green cover? I did. It is fire. And somebody holler at Sanford Green for me. Somebody tell Sanford Green that Rich looking for him because, you know, I ain't never just asked an artist for anything. But if you could give me the OA art on that cover, you know, I would greatly appreciate it. I would greatly appreciate it. Somebody tell Sanford Green that his boy is just, I just need you to let me hold something. Need you to let me hold something. So yeah. But I am happy that my man is finally getting the 5-issue mini. You know what I'm saying? It's what I've been wanting for the longest, and now we're finally going to get it in November. So yeah, I'm happy. So with that said, guys, shout out to Black Lightning. Nazi the Spider said, hey everybody, 2 Black Lightning series is limited 5 issues, I believe. Yeah, you know, I could want an ongoing title. I'll take the 5 for now. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be in Justice League Unlimited as well. So he's going to be in not just his own title, but he'll be in the Justice League Unlimited book as well. So I don't know how long that's going to go, but he'll be in that book. He's featured prominently in that particular book as well. So, you know, I'll take it, man. Hadn't seen my man in a book in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it is what it is. It says, even though I thoroughly dislike DC versus vampires, there was a plot thread involving Black Lightnings that I was hoping they would follow up on. Well, this is actually, you know, it's not going to follow up on that. We know it's everything is coming out of the Absolute Power Amanda Waller series. So, you know, yeah. So, you know, shout out to Brandon Thomas for doing this thing on that. I know he's going to write a dope story, and so I'm looking forward to you know, checking it out. What's going on, Frustrated? It says, I love his new look. Looks a little static inspired. Yeah. Style so serious. There will be no shade on my guy tonight. Y'all gonna stop that shade with Black Vulcan. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as Black Vulcan. That is a Hanna-Barbera. Let me talk right. I'm on camera. That is a doppelganger. I'll say it like that. A doppelganger. Yeah. It's Mr. D Comics says we got plans for Vixen and Mr. Terrific too. Well, that's what's up. That's what's going on. So yeah, what's going on, Azura Beast? Good to see you. But anyway, let's get to the next article. The next article is a Screen Geek article. Okay. If you've been under a rock, if you have not been to the movie theater to see Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine, new Blade movie with Wesley Snipes, seems likely as Marvel reportedly moves away from Mahershala Ali. The new Blade movie with actor Wesley Snipes is said to be increasingly likely as Marvel reportedly moves away from Mahershala Ali. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has become increasingly connected with the release of Deadpool and Wolverine. The newly released blockbuster established the existence of Wesley Snipes as Blade in the multiverse, something which came as a major shock while Marvel Studios continued to develop their own take on Blade. Now, however, a new Blade movie with Wesley Snipes seems even more likely as Marvel reportedly moves away from Mahershala Ali. Actor Mahershala Ali has been attached to portray Blade in the new MCU movie for years now. He's already voiced the character for a cameo in Eternals. Although, as Marvel's Blade continues to face a number of production issues and delays, it wouldn't be surprising if studio refocused their efforts on Wesley Snipes for a potential Blade 4. It's something that Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds has shown support for on X. Now insiders Jeff Snyder and John Rocha have discussed the possibility on Hot Mic, including whether or not Wesley Snipes could be chosen to lead a new Blade movie in an effort to replace Mahershala Ali, as noted by @Marvel News Films via X. It is possible that Marvel is moving away from Mahershala Ali's Blade movie and moving closer to a Wesley Snipes Blade movie. That's what the tweet on X reportedly said. Many reports have suggested that Ali has become frustrated with the way Blade has been handled. You think? As such, it would not be surprised if he stepped away from the project or vice versa. Likewise, now that Wesley Snipes and his take on Blade has been reintroduced for the first time in 2 decades, he's certainly primed for another MCU appearance. Ultimately, however, we'll have to see how everything pans out. It's worth noting that Deadpool and Wolverine also introduced many former Marvel stars and continuities as a means of saying goodbye. Otherwise, there could also be other appearances with the upcoming Avengers film, Doomsday, and Avengers Secret Wars. It's just too early at this point to tell. And all of this should be taken with a grain of salt, considering because while Mahershala Ali is technically still attached to the project, as we have seen, however, anything is certainly possible when it comes to the MCU, Blade's effort. So hopefully everything works out for the best. So here's the thing. I don't think that we're going to see a Blade movie with Wesley Snipes. I know a lot of people are hoping for that. I just don't see it happening. And, if you do, it's probably better to do it as, Blade being a variant, part of the multiverse, you know what I'm saying? And you have Mahershala Ali playing the main 616 Blade. You've gone this far with this actor who has not slammed you in the press, though he could. Probably has an NDA thing attached to his contract at Marvel, so which is why he probably hadn't said anything. But everybody knows that Mahershala Ali is frustrated with all this. I would be frustrated with all this. And, it would be cool to see a Blade movie. I would like, if they're going to do a Blade 4, I would like to do an old man Blade, if you're going to do that, because Wesley Snipes is not no spring chicken. And, you know what I'm saying, to kill vampires and all that kind of thing, I don't know. I mean, he's very, very astute in the martial arts and probably could do the stunts and all that to require him to do it. He, of course, have to get back into, MCU shape and that kind of thing. And he could do it, no doubt. But, the truth be told, I'll just be honest. I think this is the MCU's way of keeping us talking about this movie that they clearly have no real interest in making. So, yeah. My man Rico says, like I said, old man Blade, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, it does. It does. If you're going to do it, you know what I'm saying? He was rocking that black number 5 real hard in that Deadpool movie. My man's hair was too black. Too black, too strong. But yeah, I would love to see that, man. If they did that, that would be that makes sense for them to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if they would do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would love for them to do that. I wish they would introduce it in the comics. I would love to read something like that in the comics. You know what I'm saying? Old Man Blade. But of course, there is a Red Band Blade book that's getting ready to come out next month. And, well, not next month. I think it's October, I want to say. It may be September. I'm not sure. I don't know. Don't quote me on the solicits, whatever. But I do know a Red Band Blade book is coming. And so we'll have some more Blade content to read. Stuff's coming straight out of the Blood Hunt series or whatever. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, as far as the MCU stuff, man, the only person I feel bad for is Mahershala Ali. Because he wasted a lot of time trying to get this movie in place. So we'll see. So let's look at some of these comments. He says, I don't want Wesley. I don't want Ali. I want Aldrich Hodges Blade. Okay. All right, Amir. Let's see what else we got. Hype Style says, Mahershala do his own movie version. However, I would love if Snipes could be the voice of a cartoon version for an R-rated animated MCU miniseries. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Plus a video game. Mr. DC Comics hits us tonight with a super chat. Why not just have Ali and Wesley Snipes in the same movie as father and son? I kind of like that idea. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. DC Comics, for sure.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Guy Rico says, simple, give Snipes a grand send-off as Old Man Blade from an alternate universe dies in an epic battle, and the end credits with someone steps through the portal camera, pans up to reveal Mahershala Ali. I like that idea. I like that idea. I feel bad for dude who built Old Man Blade. Old Man Blade, it seemed like, man, if that's what they're going to do, Marvel is clearly leaving money on the table. This is too simple, guys. It's too simple. But, you know, hey, we just some comic heads. What do we know? So, yeah, shout out to Wesley Snipes, man. I'm glad. Shout out to Ryan Reynolds for bringing Blade back. Because he's the reason why we even talking about this. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Frustrated says, Blade is really the start of the MCU and they don't give it credit. You know, and guess what? I think that they know. Everybody knows. Will Marvel and Kevin Feige and the guys at Disney acknowledge it? I don't know. You know, is it too much to give a black man credit for what you have now? You know what I'm saying? Marvel was on their way to bankruptcy when they filmed that movie over 25 years ago. So, you know, will they ever give them credit? I don't know. I hope they would. I hope that they would. I mean, it makes too much sense. But again, we're talking about Disney, y'all. So it is what it is. So anyway, let's go to our next article. Speaking of Disney, we have a Forbes article. Very obvious reasons Disney canceled the Acolyte. It wasn't toxic dude bros. You know, so listen to this. It says, there is much gnashing of teeth and rending garments over the past week over the cancellation of the Acolyte by Disney. The Star Wars series will not live beyond its first season, and it is unclear whether any of the characters or storylines set up in season 1 will be carried on anywhere else. I do think that the Stranger was a good character, and I'd be happy to see him again in some capacity. Darth Plagueis was spotted toward the end of the season, and I'd certainly like to see more of him. But the show itself was not a hit, largely because it was poorly written, riddled with plot holes, and had very uneven acting from its various leads. Looked cheap despite its enormous cost, and while some outlets want to paint the cancellation as the win for toxic dude bros, in the fandom as if no woman could have possibly disliked the Acolyte, and others are saying that its failure would cause Disney to avoid trying new things, I think the real culprit is twofold. They spent too much money, and the story just wasn't good. The Acolyte cost far more and performed far worse than any other Disney Plus Star Wars series, and that's why it was canceled. If it had been hugely popular with the viewership numbers closer to The Mandalorian and to Andor, it most certainly would have been renewed. But the critical reception was lukewarm, and fan reception was largely very negative, and viewers didn't show up to watch it. I don't believe this was due to the show's diversity or a new setting of the High Republic, but rather to the overall sense that the show was poorly executed with a gimmicky twin storyline that never worked, some truly abysmal moments like the witch chants, and his biggest star killed off in the first 5 minutes. Yeah. Me and Paul went kind of back and forth over this, and I told Paul, I was like, bro, they not the shout out to Amanda Steinberg, because they just did not do her any favors or any of those characters on that show. And to the writer's point in that Forbes article, the best character of the show was killed off in the first 5 minutes of the series or the show. It just did not sync well. It just wasn't. It was poor. It had too many plot holes. it was executed. It had a great idea, I think, but the execution of it was off by a whole lot. And so, it's one of those things where you give somebody a new portion of a franchise, right? Of a story franchise, whose specialty is telling serialized storytelling, which is what Star Wars as a genre is, serialized storytelling. And you introduce these new elements. But you got to know that when I'm doing this, I'm doing this in the vein of what Star Wars traditionally has been. And so you kind of like leapfrog over a lot of stuff. You kind of make up some stuff. You kind of draw from some old stuff, but you got to be able to make it fit. It's like fitting a puzzle together. Pieces have got to fit. If it don't fit, it is what it is. And so I did not want this series to fail, not by a long shot, but it just did not do it justice. And when that series ended, I was kind of like, and they were like, no, it's coming back. It was coming back. Shout out to Specs Thompson, comic book creator, who we met in Atlanta ComicCon. We sat up and talked for maybe 30 minutes about Star Wars, and particularly about this show. And a few days after the con, we got the word. Matter of fact, it was like, literally like 48 hours. It was canceled. So I don't know what people want. I think people wanted to like it. It just wasn't likable. It had nothing to do with the stars. It had nothing to do with the diversity. It had everything to do with the storytelling. The storytelling, I tell people this, you cannot leapfrog over storytelling. If you want somebody to pay attention to your product, if you want somebody to really be invested in these characters, you have got to introduce these characters and give them storylines that people care about. It's just that plain and simple. And it just didn't. It just wasn't that good. I'm sorry that it got canceled. But Star Wars and I should say Disney's at a point now where they just can't throw money away. They have traditionally, in the last few years, have been doing that, just throwing money away. At some point, your shareholders are going to want to know what's happening with the money. You can have all kind of passion projects all day long. At the end of the day, it's about dollars and cents. And so if people are not checking for your product, it is what it is. It's not all fanboy stuff. It's just what it is. I don't know what to tell Paul. I don't know what to tell the rest of the Star Wars fan base. They love the show. I thought it was cool. Now, let me say this. Best thing about the show were the action scenes. The action scenes were stellar. You get no argument from me on that. But the storytelling, not good. Sorry. It is what it is. Yeah. So, RIP to the Acolyte. It was good until it wasn't. Yeah. Thor says Acolyte could have been better. Just the storyline was rushed. If it was given 2 or 3 more seasons, let it develop and let the characters and the story develop. But that's the problem. See, everybody don't have 2, 3 seasons. That's the issue. You got to do this. Is the economy that we're in. You got to do more with less. You don't have a whole lot of time to make things happen. I mean, look what happened with the Mandalorian. The first season of The Mandalorian was flawless. That was like executed perfectly. Okay, you're introducing this new character Grogu. You're introducing the Mandalorian himself. You don't have a whole lot of time to kind of like get this thing going, but they got it going. You got some backstory. You got some passion. They were able to draw us in. We began to care about the characters. And Disney, they were so. I think that they didn't even really know what they had at the time. But that first season, there was literally no merch on the shelf, no Baby Yodas on the shelf. They should have had Baby Yodas falling off the shelf, but they didn't because they didn't know that the Mandalorian was going to hit like it did. So it's what it is. It is what it is. Mr. DC says, I just want a Darth Maul show. Well, we are getting a Darth Vader show. So there is that to look forward to. Yeah. Manifesto says the pacing was slow, storytelling not that compelling. Yeah, it really was dragging its feet. I mean, again, my thing is you had a lot of different things going on, which is why it felt rushed. You had the stranger, you know, that had some mystery and intrigue to him. You had Amanda Story's twin role that she was playing. You kind of got into a little bit and cared a little bit about who she was, or who they were, I should say. And yet you still, it wasn't enough. They introduced the element with these witches. You know, they tried to insinuate that the Jedi were really bad versus good. And me and Paul went back and forth about the Jedi and the Force being something completely different. Like, look, stop. Just give me my Star Wars. The Jedi are good. The Sith are bad. It's that simple. All this gray area that y'all want to play in, I don't understand it. It's not my Star Wars. And maybe that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's a 50-year-old franchise that happens to be like, I don't know, maybe it's changed. Maybe it should change. I don't think so. You wouldn't change or retcon a story whose origins are rooted in this dynamic of the Force, the Jedi and the Sith or whatever. Why make dark Jedi? Why have anti-hero type Sith or whatever? It makes no sense. Good or bad, good and evil, villains and heroes. That's what it's supposed to be, in my humble opinion. So, and they marketed this show as it's going to be a show about the Sith. We know nothing more about the Sith than we do before the show came out. Okay, what y'all did was, or what they did was, basically smear the Jedi. That's what they did in this show. They smeared the Jedi. The Jedi are not as good as you think they are. They kidnap kids. They do this, that, and the third. That's what they did. They didn't have. It's like the Sith. You got sympathy for the devil, but you didn't really get anything from the stranger. Nothing, other than he was just wrecking shop, mowing through the Jedi. So Thor says, well, there's nothing wrong with playing in or with a gray area. Just make it make sense. The story must be good. That part, for sure. So, you know, they said, Rico, you silly. He said, they smeared more than just the Jedi. Yeah, there was a whole lot wrong with this show. We can literally go in about this show. I mean, it was from the lack of fathers, the acknowledgement that there were no fathers. It was a lot going on in this show, and you know, you didn't help. You didn't help. I was to say this: you didn't help your cause by trying to alienate certain demographics. I'll say it like that. So yeah. Shout out to Jeffrey Thorne. Says Star Wars is a fairy tale story at the end. Turning it into church all these years and needing to make it relevant now, son. Play the bass line before you start doing them guitars. I love that, Jeff. That's what's up. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? And again, you know, so y'all don't have that to look forward to no more. Y'all got to go look at Skeleton Crew and all the other stuff that they got going on. So yeah. C. Cole says that Toxic Bros were just STFU. We can actually have conversations about why something didn't work out instead of blaming women and people of color for everything. But see, and that's the thing. I think that there is that element there, C. Cole, but this was a situation where that was not the case. The whole point of the Forbes article was to say, no, it's not the Texan fanboys. This was bad because it was just bad. It had nothing to do with them. Now, I get what you're saying in terms of the conversation, but as to why it didn't work out, I'm telling you, as a comic head and as a fan of Star Wars and as someone who has been watching these movies and these shows, I can tell you, this wasn't a lick. It just wasn't. Even if, and see, I'm gonna tell you something, because you went there, Seco, so let me go there. When the announcement for this show was coming out, I did a show on Real Talk with Rich, and I said emphatically, when they first started talking about this stuff, the things that they were talking about, it was diversity. This is the most diverse cast. This is inclusion. This is this, that, and the third. I said, you cannot lead with that. You cannot lead with that. If you got your actors talking about how diverse the cast is, instead of who they're playing, instead of their role, instead of the characters, instead of being to tell the fans who they're going to be and why we should be intrigued by them or whatever, that's what they walked out there with. And it wound up being a garbage dump. If you don't believe me, all you got to do is go back and see. This is Disney's MO. They did this with the Eternals. They did the same thing with the Eternals. Oh, this is the most diverse cast. And what they did was a lot of race swaps, a lot of gender swaps, and it wound up being a hot dumpster fire. It is what it is. I know those of you that want diversity want to see these shows win. But I'm going to tell you, like I told a lady in Houston at Comic Palooza, who was a member of the alphabet community. I told her to her face, you have to write a story where I care about your characters. I'm not going to accept anything just because you say I should like this character because this character is gay or this character is this, that, and the third. No, why should I care about your character? It's no different than me writing a story and I'm black and I put it out there, I'm a black man. You're supposed to love me. I'm a black man. I'm oppressed. We're not running in the victim Olympics. And I'm going to tell you, our fan base has got to get to the point where that does not pass the smell test. It just doesn't. It can't. It can't grow if we do that kind of stuff. It winds up looking weird. It winds up looking goofy. And when it stank for real, you have people apologizing for it. Not doing that. Not doing that. And the thing is, it's like Captain America said, the best place for us is for the power to be in our own hands, not in the hands of others. It's going to always look crazy. Says Luke Skywalker showed up in a time machine, it wouldn't have gotten canceled. Well, he didn't. I think that's the point. But even with that, now see, I'm on record as saying I want them to get away from the Star Wars saga. I'm on record for them to do some old Republic stuff. If you're going to bring in the High Republic or whatever, I'm fine with it. But you got to tell dope stories. You just got to do that. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around that because it's serialized storytelling. Okay, if you're going to expand the lore, if you're going to expand the world, then you got to get me to care about the world. There's a reason why people care about Mandalore. Mandalore wasn't around when New Hope came out. But now everybody cares about the Mandalore. Okay? There's a way to do things. You got to do it. C. Cole says, talking to Rico, I am tired of it being thrown by folks who were never going to watch it in the first place. I think that's a part of that's part for the course, C. Cole. That's part for the course. You're going to have those types. Listen, we understand that racism and prejudice and that exists in fandom. It does. It does. There's no getting around that. I'm not going to act like that doesn't happen or whatever. But that wasn't why this got canceled. It just wasn't. Now, when something is good, the fanboys shut up. When we saw X-Men 97, there were people who said before the show was going to come out that it was going to be woke garbage and that it was going to be trash and that and Disney is just woke period. X-Men 97 came out, it was phenomenal. It shut the fanboys up. It shut the white boys up. It shut them all up. They had to commit that it was good. That's how you win. By good storytelling. That's how you do it. Can't do it trying to create this new element in your world. If you don't have a story or a storyline or a plot that makes sense and that's consistent, it's gonna. And here's the thing: Disney are employing people. Here's the truth. There's no getting around this. Disney's employing people who are not comic heads, who don't care about Star Wars, who don't care about Marvel. That's what they're doing. That's what they done. They tell people that they hired, don't read the source material. Really? It's on record. The guys that did the showrunners that did the secret invasion story, they were told to not read the source material. Why would you tell somebody that's doing a show about a storyline at Marvel called Secret Invasion to not read the source material? The only reason why you would tell someone like that is because you want to do something that's not in the source material. And that's what gets us in trouble. C. Cole says, I have no issue with those who actually watched it, then go off. At least you watched it and then said something. Yeah. You know, and I feel you, bro. I feel you. They did that with X-Men 97. But after the X-Men 97 came out and everybody loved it, they had nothing else to say. They had nothing else to say. It is what it is. It is what it is. So, you know, I feel bad for the actors and the actresses, but that's where we are in terms of that big conglomerate, that Mickey Mouse, that little dude with the mouse ears. He's something else. He a rascal. What's going on, Bo Big? Thank you for the super chat. Says, what up, Rich? Yeah. And C. Cole, he responds again. He says, the folks who watch it can tell you what is wrong with the show, not the ones who didn't, because we hear from them way too much. I want to hear from folks who actually watched it. Yeah, that makes sense, C. Cole. I watched it. I watched every episode. I wasn't one of these persons that didn't like it, watched 1-2 episodes and like it and then checked out. One of the things I will do is I will continue to watch something that I may not like it or whatever, but if I'm invested, I spend some time with it or whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. If you don't believe me, ask anybody that on the commentary on Black Panther, by John Ridley. You know, some people checked out of that book early. I bought every issue. Every issue, discussed every issue. Didn't like it, whatever, but I still discussed it because you can't talk about it if you're not paying for it or whatever. Like voting, you can't complain if you don't vote. So, yeah. Boy got the Killmonger. Wow. I gonna stop. Yeah. So anyway, guys, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I hate that it happened, but you know, I'm not surprised. And that's the thing that is unfortunate, you know, and it looks like a win for the fanboys or whatever. But it wasn't. It was not a win for the fanboys, whatever. And it's not one of those things where the fanboys see, I told you so. It wasn't one of those things like that. It's really just, that reminded you funny. It really just was. You have to just say some stuff is, some stuff, it is what it is. Sometimes a dollar bill is just that, a dollar bill. What's going on, Scott Season? Better shows have been canceled unceremoniously at this point. They might as well do Tyler Perry's Adventures of Medea and Jar Jar, because diversity, people will literally watch anything. This guy here, man. Yeah. Okay. we go get off of this Acolyte stuff, and we're going to transition to another part of our low-hanging fruit. Going to talk about Atlantic ComicCon 2024. Yours truly and Black Comic Lords, the brain trust at Black Comic Lords, got a chance to hang out together. And so before we get into the shenanigans, there's the crew: Paul, Derek, and my man Herschel and myself. We were all out there together. So My man's gonna play a quick clip. We're gonna come right back, and we're gonna talk about some of the stuff that went down. As soon as it cues it up. Yeah, there we go.
The one time I tell y'all to show up at the same time, you get there before me.
Y'all want to combine the stones thing?
First time together, all the black comic lords in one spot.
Yes, sir.
Get a shot of that.
Finally. Yep. Finally. Yes, sir.
That's incredible.
Oh, precious.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, that was the first time that we all got together in one place in one building. You know, the power of social media has that's Black Comic Lords is a platform, and it's about cats like myself and others who got together and just talk about these books on Sunday nights or whatever, running our mouths, just talking crazy or whatever. And finally, it morphed into something. The conversations got deeper. It morphed into something that I think none of us, honestly, were prepared for or thought was possible. I early on believed in the project and believed in the platform, and so I invested, my time and my effort to this. And so we're at a place now where we're showing up at cons and we're doing panels, and so it's cool. Shout out to 33 and the Third Media, my man DJ Big Phil with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you. And we had a good time, man. Got a chance to meet some legends. Got a chance to meet Larry Stroman and Todd Johnson, who the creators of Tribe. Got a chance to meet with them, spend some time with them, and have some real meaningful conversations, to be honest with you. It was dope, man. It really, really was. Got a chance to meet one of my artistic heroes, Marcus Williams. I love that dude's art. I think he's one of the most talented artists that is out now doing his thing. Greg Burnham, of course, what I'm saying, he partnered with Deron Flood in making that happen. And just met a lot of dope people, man. Got a chance to chop it up with Mike Carson, Mr. Milestone, or Mr. Static, I should say. Hung out with Mike. Mike helped us do some stuff there. Very humble brother, down to earth, solid, 10 toes down kind of guy. Mike's a real one. And so I appreciate that brother. He has all my respect. He has a channel here on YouTube, Super Slabs. Y'all go check out Mike Carson, man. If you have not, give him a follow. I want Mike Carson to have over 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That dude is solid. You know what I'm saying? He's a great guy, dope collector. He's in our space. And like I say, we got a chance to hang out with him. And we just had a blast, man. Shout out to Norfolk, Virginia. Norfolk is different. Norfolk, Virginia is different. Norfolk, Virginia is a black town. And I'm pretty sure some white folks live there, but I saw a lot of black people in Norfolk. We were there, and there was I think a jazz festival going on at the same time. And saw a lot. Our hotel, Waterside, was right there by the water. And man, the ambiance around that spot was dope. Lots of nice, restaurants right down the sidewalk from the hotel. Had to killer chicken wings. I was, being a Texas guy, I wanted to try the brisket. But, what I'm saying, one of my guys was like, man, you can't go wrong with wings. It's hard to mess up some wings. So I got the chicken wings, and the wings were good, you know what I'm saying? But, either way, it was just a good time. Food, lots of fun. Went to some shops while we were there as well. shout out to Willie Cordy Jr. Went to a shop where he had a pool. That's it. That was fun. You know what I'm saying? And was able to dig in some bands with my guys. And one of my favorite moments of the weekend, I got to shout my guy out. Otis was in the building. Otis Black Lion Arterberry was in the building. Got a chance to meet my guy in person. Anybody knows Otis knows that Otis is one of the coolest dudes in the world. That guy is amazing. I love that dude. Biggest Black Panther fan I know. His fandom is incredible. And like any incredible person, he came bearing gifts. And so he gave me a little Solomon's frog that's on my mantle, one on my shelf in the back there. So, yeah, man, I had a wonderful time. And I didn't get a chance to meet everybody. That was the other part. I was literally in a daze the whole time I was there, man. The whole time I was there, I was literally in a daze. I don't think I fully enjoyed it. I really thought I needed another day to fully enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Because we were there for 2 days, but because they flew in on a Friday, left Sunday, you know, and we just did our thing, man. We just really, really had fun. He's queuing up another video. I think, can you play it, Derek, or not?
We're going to watch the hunter as
This
he
is fun.
stalks his prey. See how the hunter creeps through the long boxes, stalking his prey.
We in the building, trying to find gold.
The back issue bin bully strikes again. Notice the adept way in which his fingers
Yep.
peruse the comics.
Perusing the comics.
He's a well-oiled machine. He's a veteran of these back issue bins.
Yes, sir.
He is the back issue bully.
Yo, so yeah, man, we had like I said, we had a fabulous time, man, and you know, we were there, you know, just not to be there, but we moderated a panel with Dr. Kiana Whitted and Deron Flood. We talked about all Negro comics, which was written or done back in 1947. That was a dope conversation. I was honored that I was asked to even be a part of that. And so I got to shout out Deron Flood. You know, there are people that really are able to get stuff done. And I don't think this was easy at all. I do know that, you know, people just have, you know, that kind of metal about them. And so I'm glad he was able to partner with Greg Burnham and pull that off, because that wasn't easy. He got a lot of, you know, glowing reviews about the con. It was a lot of people at the con, and which lets you know that next year it's probably going to be double the people. Yeah. So, man, I just, we'll be back. I'll just say that if the Lord is willing and I'm able to definitely be there next year, I'm definitely going back. So this is one of the other cool things we were able to do. What you're looking at there is Black Cotton issue number 6, done by, what's my guy's name? I get their names always mixed up. I'm so terrible. I was so terrible with names at the time. Brian Hawkins and Willie Cordy did the art, but the writers and on the book were is it Patrick Hawkins and I'm losing his partner's name, Derek. Brian and Patrick is all I know. Patrick Foreman. There we go. Patrick Foreman, Brian Hawkins. Charge it to my head and not my heart, guys. But yeah, we collaborated with them on this variant. This is the Black Comic Lords exclusive variant. Only 250 issues of this comic book exist. Shout out to my man Henry, who came out to the con, was able to secure a book, because I believe Patrick had it for sale. He was able to get both them to sign it, Patrick Foreman and Brian Hawkins. They signed it, and then the three of us, Herschel, Paul, and myself, who were featured on the blade of that book. The only person that wasn't there was Mark, and that's Paul's partner. But we all signed it as well. William Henry Hand, yeah. We was able to, we had the privilege of just being able to just sign the Black Comic Lords variant. And there's always a chance when you do something like that, that somebody would ask you to sign that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the brand and you responsible for the brand and all that. But it was just a cool thing to just do that. And I remember Herschel asking me, he said, man, you got a signature? I was like, yeah, I got a signature. I got a signature. But, I didn't know what he was really saying in the moment. And when I went to sign it, I wound up signing it with my regular signature. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no superstar. I'm just rich. That's it. So, and H&H says that's a one-in-one signed book. Absolutely. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Black Comic Lords has been able to do some dope things, and I think the future's bright. And, yeah, man. So that was one of the cool highlights of the con itself. Met a lot of dope creators, man, as well. Shout out to my man Varnell Young of Millennial Comics. Delta Dogs was in the building. Specs Thompson was in the building as well. So yeah, man, we had a good time. You know what I'm saying? One of the highlights of and I'll shut up about Atlanta ComicCon. Akolyte Martinez is an amazing artist. Not a Black artist. Not an amazing female artist. Akolyte Martinez is an amazing artist. Point blank, period. Okay. She was part of a con, a part of a panel talking about women in superheroes. And let me tell you, she was on there with 3 academics. Kiana Whittick was one of them. But she was on there with 3 academics, and she literally stole the thunder out the room. She was the predator in the room. And what I mean when I say the predator, I'm talking about the hunter. She came with the real. I mean, she kept it 100. She kept it 100. And because they were talking about, diversity and being able to for sisters to be able to do their thing in the space and whatever. And one of the things that she brought up was, you guys got to buy the books. You guys, what good is it to have diversity if you don't buy the books? She's speaking from an artist perspective, because when we buy the books, she's able to get more work and do more things. But when we just scream diversity, 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 and we don't buy the books, it makes what she does, it cheapens it. Which is why you can find a lot of books in dollar bins, 50-cent bins. And I tell you, I bought more after that. I mean, I've always had a respect for her, right? But I bought more stuff from her. I bought like 4 or 5 comic books. I bought a science fiction book I'm reading right now, sitting by my bedside. I just was really impressed. That's a dope sister. She came out there, had all this flowing hair. And she was out there with her dog. Her dog was the chillest chihuahua I had ever seen. It's, you know, chihuahuas are little monsters. They bark. Chihuahua was very, very chill. But yeah, Letha Martina is different, y'all. Homie is different. She has all my respect. And you know, Paul bought some original art from her. I think Otis bought some original art from her. You and she had some killer stuff in her portfolio. You would have loved it, Phil. 33 and a third says, gotta put your money where your mouth is. Letha is dope. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she brought the thunder. I was like, wow. Matter of fact, Herschel and Paul went to do a show. I stayed there. They was like, come on. I was like, man, I'm listening to this. She was killing it. And them sisters was looking at her like, what? She just kept it all the way real with them. Because, you know, diversity is important, as I said. But if you don't buy the books, if you don't pre-order, we scream that at Black Comic Lords. It matters. And so I think that the people that came and listened to what she had to say are probably going to treat this thing a little bit different. A little bit different. Some of DJ Phil says, I got 2 pieces of hers in the exhibit, one of which I bought at Schomburg. Love her work. Yeah. And she dope. And here's the thing too. She's done stuff that y'all seen that she hasn't gotten credit for. She let some stuff go about the industry. Man, she been in the game a while. She been in the game a while. Yeah. 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 Nothing to play with. Dope artist, dope sister. You know, shout out to Letha Martinez. She's amazing. So yeah, man. With that said, we're gonna you know, take a commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna talk comics, what came out this week, and then we'll get into comic or chat talk, and we're gonna wrap this thing up. So take a restroom break, get your little, you know, libation, whatever, you know, you gotta do. We'll be right back. What's up, y'all? We are blues people. We can rap the blues, sing the blues, talk the blues, and of course in comic books, we can read the blues. One such tale can be found in Peter Parker's Spider-Man number 35. This tale is about a little boy living the blues. He finds himself excited about a birthday party and he runs home to tell Mama, but Mama's digging her own blues. He escapes to his sanctuary, his bedroom, and drifts into another world where Spider-Man is real and comes by and talks to him. This book is a reminder of how important a comic book or a collectible can be to anybody, but especially a child. This book pulls hard at the heartstrings, and no matter how many times I see this book in long boxes, I always make a point to buy it. Why? Because I know this kid. You have seen this kid. Shoot, you may have even been this kid. There are thousands of Spider-Man stories, but by far this is my favorite Spider-Man book. So I suggest that you pick it up. I promise you, you won't be able to put it down. If you like this video, share it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time, peace. Yo, we back. So, we're going to get into some comic books because we are a comic book group. So, let's start off with the obvious choice of first books to read. And that was the new Black Panther, or should I say the Predator versus Black Panther book. Dope first issue. Enjoyed it thoroughly. course, Black Panther fans gone Black Panther fan. Black Panther fans are going to Black Panther fans. Shout out to Kay with the super chat. Here's 5, and shout out to Akolyte. Yeah. Let's go. Yes. So Black Panther, you know, Predator versus Black Panther came out, you know what I'm saying? People were looking forward to this book. And, you know, the Black Panther fans had something to say. But I think they wanted to like it, but they had some issues with it, which I guess I can understand. But I have no sympathy for Black Panther fans. I just don't. Cause y'all getting books like, you know, they just throwing y'all books. They just throwing y'all. Y'all keep hollering recast T'Challa, and y'all keep doing it, but they keep giving y'all books. But you know, for real, seriously. And I understand what some of them have been saying about it, but overall, I gotta say, I give this, if you know, out of 5, you know, stars, whatever, I give this a 4. Definitely solid book, man. And I'll be honest, after I read the issue, I thought to myself, like, you know what, I wouldn't mind seeing this on the movie screen. They introduced some of the backstory with the Predators and whatnot. I thought that was very, very dope. And I want people to understand that this is a Predator versus Black Panther book. This is not a Black Panther versus Predator book. This is a Predator versus Black Panther. So if you get more Predator stuff than actual Black Panther stuff, I'm just saying. Mawan with the super chat. What's going on?
Show me the money. Louder. Show me the money. I need to feel you, Jerry. Show me the money. Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money. I love black people.
Slicko says, you mean Archie Comics, who doesn't credit artists or writers in the 70s? Tom DeFalco did stuff for them and he never got credit for. Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about, Slicko. Yeah, she had that experience. He says it was good for what it was. Predator versus MCU Black Panther. Yeah. Put a connection y'all want to put on it. Yes, we are, Rich. Black Panther fans going Black Panther. I was like, man. Listen. Black Panther fans are the most myopic Black comic fans, period. I love y'all. I really do. I love y'all. And I love Black Panther. And I always tell people this. I always put this disclaimer. I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan. But Black Panther fans just kill me, man. You guys are hilarious. And I get it. That's T'Challa's your guy. I get it. You know what I'm saying? No shade will be allowed when it comes to T'Challa. I get it. But it just be, I just laugh at y'all, man, because I just wonder what would y'all be like if y'all didn't have these books. Cause y'all been eating, bro. Y'all been eating. The Black Panther stay with stuff. I got no sympathy. Yeah, man. So, but I enjoyed the issue. I'm gonna show you the covers. He says, we are unapologetic in our Black Panther fan. And it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, y'all can be unapologetic. Call it unapologetic. I'm gonna call it myopic. Y'all listen. T'Challa, Black Panther is dope. It's a dope IP. You get no argument from me about that. Y'all just kill me with this stuff sometimes. Y'all just kill me. It's like, did you get the new Black Panther? Yeah, it was dope, but Did you get the new Black Panther book? Yeah, it was dope, but did you get the new Wakanda story? Yeah, it was dope, but everything is, yeah, it was dope, but you guys, man, you guys. Yeah, I love y'all. Y'all dope. Shout out to the Black Panther fan. Don't y'all come after me, because I'm gonna speak my mind, but at the same time, I can't do nothing but respect it. But I laugh at it, and there's Black Panther with it. It's Predator versus Wakanda. You guys are funny. You guys are funny, man. Shout out to y'all. Okay. Lifestyle says, I commented on the CBR Panther thread a minute ago about how the Panther was largely missing in action from comics for most of the 1980s and 90s. Any new material is a chance to get it better. You know, and I can respect that. I guess for me, and like I say, I'm just being facetious when I say all of this stuff. I'm just messing with the Black Panther fans. I just think that there is a, you know, there's Black comic book fans and then there's Black Panther fans. Y'all different. Y'all different breeds. So shout out to y'all. What's going on, Commander Spawn? So will DC ever give us a Green Lantern reboot? Good question. Let's run the super chat. We'll answer that real quick. Now, to answer the question, you know, John Stewart, the Green Lantern War Journal just ended. Issue 12 finally came out, and it was dope. It was dope. It was dope. I thought that the story was a little long in the tooth, but as far as will he get another, you know, Green Lantern reboot, that John Stewart's going to be around, but I don't know if John Stewart's going to actually head up a book. There's going to be a Green Lanterns book I think he's going to be a part of. But as far as a John Stewart titled, self-titled, or, you know, solo book, maybe a minute. We've had a couple of volumes of John Stewart books. And so he may take some time off, or he may just be in a team book for a while. I don't really know. So yeah, we'll see. But I wanted to show my Black Panther covers real quick. He said Black Panther equals cowboy fans. Amani with the shade. Yo, so this is the Ken Lashley cover here. Ken Lashley did this one. I like this one here. My LCS guy put this one aside for me. I didn't get the cover A. So I like that one cover. But this is clearly my favorite cover here. And that's because I'm a Scotty Young guy. But this is the Scotty Young variant for issue 1. And he has on there, he says, I'm going to get to the chopper. So yeah, so that's shout out to the Predator reference in that. So yeah, Scotty Young's my favorite, one of my favorite artists, not my favorite artist, but one of my favorite artists. So I had to get Scotty Young for that, you know. So yeah, man. Shout out to the Black Panther fans and all 89,000 variants y'all collect every month. So yeah. So what else we got? Guess you never met Nightwing or Wonder Woman fans. No, I don't need to. Look, I like Nightwing as a character. I like Wonder Woman as a character. But you know, I'm not lip wrestling with, you know, I'm not lip wrestling with that fan base because they got enough fans and they got enough in. I'm gonna stay over here with T'Challa and all the shenanigans that go on with their fans. You know, I can only handle one headache. And I'm being facetious when I say that. So I read a lot of different stuff this week. I read the Destro book. This issue here was pretty fire. This is issue 3. Don't sleep on the Energon universe. The Destro stuff. This is a pretty good book. Can't front on this book. This is a pretty good book. Got some little backstory on what we know the House of Destro and all that stuff comes from. So that was pretty cool. My favorite read of the week, however, apart from as far as comics is concerned, was the Miles Morales. Now, issue 23 came out. You know, Miles is from the Blood Hunt stuff. Miles is still a vampire, so he's navigating life as a vampire. So this was a pretty good issue. So yeah, it was a solid issue, but you know, Miles got issues, and he has Starling to kind of help him out in this issue. I don't know if they're kind of like still toying with them, because it looked like they're back together in this book. To be honest with you, I know that they had him trying to date Kamala Khan, but they're kind of close in this book here. And she admits that she loves Miles. So it's a pretty good, you know, book. Yep. But that wasn't the book. I mean, the Miles Morales book is good. That's issue 23. The annual, yeah, they're going to delve into Starling being related to Vulture out of that. Yeah, that's how it ends. It ends on that cliffhanger. Starling, you know, meets up with her grandfather, or her father, I guess. I think grandfather. Anyway, so Miles Morales annual issue 1 came out. This is a pretty good book. This is a pretty good book. It has like 3 stories in it. Has 1 main story, and then it's got like 2 little smaller stories. Main story, Miles goes to Puerto Rico and spends some time with his grandmother. And they kind of get into the cultural thing, if you will. And it's a very, very sweet issue, very loving issue of Miles spending time with his grandma. There's 2 stories in the back. There's a story with Storm in it, which is pretty dope. And, you know, there's a story that connects him with Bloodline. So this is a solid annual. This is a solid annual book. You guys might want to cop this. Like I say, Storm is in it. Brielle Brooks is in it. And, you know, this is just a dope story. He's in Puerto Rico, which is why you see the Puerto Rican flag right here. He's spending time in Puerto Rico, you know, getting to know his mother's side of the family. So, yeah, that was a dope issue. I hope y'all picked that up or whatever. So, yeah. So I read, this is another dope book that I read this week. Profane issue number 3 came out. Very hilarious story, the way this thing is laid out. You know, what can you say, man? Peter Milligan is doing his thing in his book in regards to telling us a dope story about it's a story about a story. Basically, a character is running around trying to figure out, you know, how his creator, whatever, got murdered. And, you know, it's a little insane in the membrane type stuff, but it's pretty dope. I enjoyed that. So now my favorite read of the week, yeah, Profane is deep. My favorite read of the week is this one. This is the graphic novel. I posted a post in our Facebook group of you know, going to your LCS, and my pull list was chill. I mean, I'm saying I didn't have that many books. Cost was cool or whatever, but then I pre-ordered this, and it came in, and this was $29.99. Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze. I can go on record and say that this is the best graphic novel of Jimi Hendrix that I got, or that I have. This was pretty amazing. Written by 2 brothers, Mellow Brown and DJ Ben Hameen, who I didn't even know is from Houston, 3rd Ward, Texas, to be exact. But yeah, real trippy story. And it's got a lot of his lyrics, woven into the story itself. It's just basically a space age type story. Hendrix is playing his guitar, going from place to place, trying to figure out how to bring peace in the cosmos or in the galaxy. It's pretty cool. I love it, man. The art by Tom Mandrake is pretty awesome. You know, yeah, man. I'll just flip a page and make me big, Derek. I'll just show you a few pages of the book so you can kind of see what it looks like on the inside. And look, this is a black book, okay? There's not that many melanated challenged people in this book. It's aliens in the book, but even the aliens are black. It's a black book. This is a black Jimi Hendrix black graphic novel. Jimi Hendrix is not the only black person in this book. 95% of the people in this book, alien or otherwise, are black. Okay? So this is Black Comic Lords. We champion black creators and black writers and that kind of thing. And I'm telling you, this is a black book. It was $29.99. Yo, telling you, it's a dope book. Tron World, what's happening? Tron World just hit us with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Yeah, y'all picked this up. Y'all picked this up. This is like I said, this is a black book. The melanin is strong in this book, okay? I just really enjoyed the story. I sat down. It's got the illest art. Now I want to show y'all this, and I'm gonna put this book down. But this was the original cover for the book. They were going to do a black and white cover of this book. That is ill, yo. That is ill. Mandrake had been around a long time, and some of the stuff in his book, I'm telling you, the art, he did his thing. He did his thing. I don't know what the brothers told homeboy, but yeah, like I say, it's got space monsters in it. It's a dope book. You can there are like 4 different graphic novels of Jimi Hendrix. I have all of them. And I can tell you by far, this is the best one. Because one, this is a story not about Hendrix. This is a story with Hendrix in it. And, because the other graphic novels kind of try to tell the story of Jimi Hendrix, whatever. But this is just a book where Jimi Hendrix is like a galactic, superstar guitar player, doing his thing, playing his songs or whatever. But he's going from place to place, doing his thing or whatever, trying to help the people, liberate the people. So yeah, dope stuff, man. So yeah. So look, we're going to transition from the comics of the week or whatever to chat talk. What you guys want to talk about? We got a few more minutes. We're gonna get out the way. So yeah. Hype Style says, peace, said Rich and Black Comic. Looking for the Black Lightning family getting the regular showcase to at least 2 years to keep the brand alive long enough to get several trade paperbacks. Yes. Well, Hype Style, the only problem with that is that the Black Lightning, self-titled book is only 5 issues. But he is going to be a part of Justice League Unlimited. So I'm hoping that they make the Justice League Unlimited an ongoing title. So we'll see more of Jefferson Pierce. He's been on the shelf a minute. So I'm hoping that they keep him around or whatever. So yeah, but I'm really, kind of like wanting to see what they do. Scott Cedar said Rat City was a straight fill issue, lost interest in the Miles stories. Scott, you might want to pick up the Miles book, bro. For real. Ahmad's run was so dull. I think you like Cody Ziegler. I think you like Cody Ziegler on Miles. He's been solid. But definitely check out the annual. The annual is dope. You ain't got to necessarily be a Miles Morales fan to love the annual. The annual is pretty dope. Like I said, it's got 3 stories in it. Brio Brooks makes a point. That's Blade's daughter. Storm is in the book as well. Like I said, the main story is him spending time with Puerto Rico with his grandmother. So it's a cultural story. So if you Puerto Rican, or if you just love the Puerto Rican people, and I've been to Puerto Rico, it's beautiful. The people are beautiful. I think you dig it for sure. So he frustrated says, "What did I think of Vicious Circles in it?" I thought it was cool for what it was. I'm looking forward to the show. They're doing a show on Vicious Circle. The art, outstanding, stellar, of course. That book, it was literally came out, took 2 years or almost, 2 years for 3 issues to come out of that book. But the art on that thing was so bad. It was so good. But when I say bad, meaning good, it was so good. Nobody wind up. No one really didn't care that it took that long to get 3 issues of that comic book. Story was amazing as well. I thought it was okay. I thought it could have been better, personally, but I was okay with it. I was just happy to get another volume of that art. That art was phenomenal. Hot take, Monty says, it's not our support that negatively affects our books. It's white fans' indifference. I will say that we have to do our part. It does not excuse us from not doing our part. I don't disagree, but we have to do our part. We have to do our part. Bo Big says, thanks for the code of honor suggestion, Rich. Absolutely. Appreciate it. Scott Caesar says, November is going to be 5, 2 Moon Knight series, Red Band Blade. DC even got Martian Manhunt and Black Lightning on the Justice League. Congrats, OG. They still trash, though. Better be an arc. Man, Scott Caesar, bro, I need you to be here every Sunday, bro. You always have these 5 takes, man. Yeah. Mawan says, I'm trying to locate the pack Werewolf comic book by Paul Louise. Any thoughts? Paul Louise Jr. Any thoughts? No, not really. Thing is, certain books just get by me, so to speak. I don't know everything. I know a few things. I don't know everything. I don't know a lot. I know a few things. So I might have to kind of check that out. Werewolf comic book. I mean, and I'm not a big werewolf guy. I'm looking forward to Rodney Barnes' werewolf book in October. I'm looking forward to that. I did enjoy Batman versus Bigby, which was a werewolf story. But I wasn't like a big Werewolf by Night guy. I didn't really get into werewolves until Rodney Barnes. When Rodney Barnes started doing the Elysium Garden stuff, the second story in Philadelphia. He says Egyptian werewolves. Okay, now I gotta go hunt. Okay, Mawan. So the pack is fire. Look for the Midas monkey. Okay. So you guys know, so y'all put me up on some stuff. I try to put people up on stuff. Y'all put me up on some stuff. So I'm gonna have to holler at my man Paul because he know all things. So you said I met Red Brown and Sam Jones yesterday along with Julian Shaw, Marvel artists. Okay. Was you at the Tampa Bay con? Bro, was you there? Where was you at? Where was you at, Seco? So I knew that would get you attention. Oh, for sure. Mine says the pack is cool. It's also expensive. Well, it is what it is. Black tax is always going to be a black tax. I don't mind playing the black tax when it's black people. Yeah. Yeah. He said autocorrect. They should have a black Vulcan cameo. You know what? Stop. Y'all gonna stop. Y'all gonna stop. So, I do have the Rat City book here. Shout out to Scott Caesar. So I didn't read it, but I think part of the reason why I didn't read it was because I just kind of like I read a bunch of books all at the same time. This Philadelphia new issue this Wednesday, right? Should be, yes. But yeah, should be Kevin. We should be getting it. Been a minute. So shout out to Rodney Barnes, getting it back cracking. So, okay, says it's unfortunate that Blade is in development hell. I think that they went in and see. This is where the Disney stuff is disappointing. Blade kills vampires. That's what Blade does. Point blank. Period. I don't care about Blade's backstory. I don't. I want to see him with his weapons hacking up vampires. That's what I want to see. It should be evident, plain, okay? But yet they can't make a story with him just hacking up vampires. No, they want to do stuff like, you know what? We want to introduce his daughter. You know what? We want to tell an emo story. No, that's not Blade. Blade kills vampires. That's what he does. How hard is that? Not hard at all. It's what got y'all the first bread in the first place. I mean, what are they doing? It makes no sense to me. But, for whatever reason, they've had directors, they've had multiple directors, multiple writers lead the project. Makes no sense. Style So Serious says, any word on Acolyte Popeye release date? No, but we did see Marcus Williams at Atlantic ComicCon. And we know that, Derek just got you, August 28th. So that's actually this week. So Marcus Williams is the big Popeye guy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I got him to sign my Acolyte Popeye free comic book day book. So that was one of the things I wanted to do when I got to Atlantic ComicCon. There was two people I went straight to see when I hit the artist alley or whatever, and that was Larry Stroman. I spent my first bread with Larry Stroman and Todd Johnson. I got a Tribe T-shirt. I bought that. I've already had the Tribe books or whatever, and they gifted me some stuff on top of it. You know what I'm saying? Because them dudes is just solid like that. So, but yeah, and Marcus Williams. So I had to kind of like hang out with them and spend a little bread with them, and I was finally able to get Little Rock files. I was finally able to secure a copy. In fact, it was the Marcus Williams cover, and I had Greg Burnham and Marcus Williams sign it. So that was dope. So he says, no, it was the Dallas Comic-Con in Louisville. Okay, see, Cole, I didn't know you was local, bro. I didn't know you. I didn't know me and you was local. We got to meet up, bro. I'm here in Fort Worth. I work out of Louisville. Yeah, that's a dope cover, there, man. That's that Mike Tyson Punch-Out cover. Yeah, that's amazing. I heard about that con too, Seco, but I just did not want to make the drive out there. I live in Fort Worth. I work in Louisville, and so to drive out there and to go to work, get bread, that's one thing. Go out there and spend bread, that's another thing. Yeah. So how many books did you lug with you? You know what, Imani? I didn't. Actually, I gave my books to Derek to ship back from Atlantic Comic. I didn't get a lot of books. I got books from Letha Martinez. I got about 4 or 5 books from her. I bought some books from Von Neil Young. I bought some books from Specs Thompson, who has the I can't think of. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up. He has a I was kind of disappointed because I bought all of his books that he had available. I bought issues 2, 3, and 4 from Specs. I'm trying to think of the name of his comic book. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Specs book, Legacy of the View. Legacy of the View. I bought issues 2, 3, and 4. And the only reason why I didn't buy 1 because he ran out. So shout out to all the creators out there. When you come to a con or when you come to a whatever you buy books with, make sure you have plenty of number ones. Because while everybody doesn't mind buying all your other stuff, comic heads always want the number one. The number one there's a reason why comic heads go after the number one. It's like, the number one headband. You want the number one. So, but yeah. Dawson says he did mention the black character coming to the book on Instagram. Yeah, Wayla Joe. Look, Marcus Williams, I think, is doing something dope with Popeye. Popeye is, what is it? Public domain. And so, yeah, you can kind of do some stuff with it now. So, yeah, I'm happy that he's doing it. He's, it's something like, for him, it's one of his favorite characters, that kind of thing. So, he's having fun with it, and that's what matters most. And of course, bringing the black character into the fold, you gotta love that, man. You gotta love that. Gotta love that. So what else we got, guys? Also have the One Hand series, waiting for Six Fingers coming on the pull list. Yeah. He's a dope brother too, man. Came to the con and came to our table. I didn't know who he was at first. So we sitting there talking, and that's why I said we had this conversation about Star Wars. Next thing I know, I just look at his shirt. I was like, hold up, bro. Who are you? And, that's when he kind of got into it. I was like, okay, bro, I'm gonna come by your table, spend some bread with you. And that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? So I was just happy. He was one of the dope guys out there. CJ Thompson. So, Legacy of the View. Let's see. Four Eyes Malone says, do you think comic books, okay, says, did you see them? Okay, I'm gonna get frustrated. It says, did you see what Marvel's doing or whatever? Where Donald Duck becomes Thor? Yeah, they doing the Disney stuff. Disney is doing some goofy stuff now. Pun intended. But yeah, that's what they're doing. Donald Duck is going to become Thor. Matter of fact, I think they did one with him becoming Wolverine. They're giving him the Miles Morales treatment. So I'm like, I ain't buying that, but I did see it. Yeah. So Four Eyes Malone says, there it is right there. Do you think comic book pricing is maxed out? So many books are $5 now. Oh no, Four Eyes. Look here. They keep printing them. You keep buying them. They have no incentive to be cheaper because we buy the books. People buy the books. I would. The $4.99 price tag on a comic book is kind of depressing when you think about it. Especially when you're my age and when you've paid 20 cents for a comic book. Okay, 25 cents for a comic book. Now they're $4. They're starting off at $4. People have. I didn't think they would go past $3.99, but now they have. You get a variant. Variant's $5.99, $6.99. You get a double issue. It's $9.99. It's kind of sad. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want to do away with floppies so we can just get trades, and maybe we'll get a break on getting the whole story or a whole volume of story, and it'd be a little cheaper. But I don't know if they're going to cap it. I hope that they would, but I just do not know. I just do not know. Yep. What if Donald Duck became Wolverine? That's crazy. 4i says a manga with more pages, no color, of course, can go from $8 to $12. That's the market they're fighting in, and less confusing for casuals to understand what to get. I mean, it is what it is, guys. Supply and demand. If guys are going to buy it, it is what it is. All they're doing is filling the market. That's all they're doing. My man Phil says getting rid of floppies would be a mistake. Phil, I definitely understand what you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree. I just know that the cost of these books are such to where, I think it would just be cheaper if they did them in graphic novels. I mean, a lot of people love the variant game is kind of the reason for it. If there would be no variants, there would be no reason, in my opinion, for floppies. But because people love variants, and present company included, it is what it is. I don't necessarily like it. I mean, shout out to the Black Panther fan. Shout out to my man Paul. Paul buys every variant of Black Panther comes out. Doesn't matter what it is, how it is, or who it is. He buys every variant. That's what he does. Which means he's spending probably somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe $35, $40, $50 an issue on variants. But, it's what it is. Seco says probably gets public next year and got 2 issues of Marcus Williams shirts, Killmongers and Miles Morales. Okay. Scott Caesar said Brian Hill might be my favorite writer now. I hope he gets to do more books. Maybe Elijah Bradley. Never mind. Isaiah Bradley, we might like that too much. Captain Falcon is over at Marvel. Do better. Jay says, would you like if these miniseries would be at least 50 pages since it's only 4 to 5 issues? It's hard to say, man, because comic books are 22 pages right now. The average comic book is 22 pages now. If you could put double that 40-page, 50-page book, I wouldn't mind paying $6.99, $7.99 for that. I would get more material. But again, that's given if the material is worth it. If you go back in the day when comic books were full, when comic books were thick, I literally can read like these comic books today. I literally can read this in like 5 to 10 minutes. Knock this out easy. Whereas you had to sit with a comic book back in the day. You had to sit with them things. You had to read that stuff because it was a lot to read. And you were learning new words, but it's not like that now. It's unfortunate, but it is. My man Phil says, cheaper isn't better. Not doing trade paperbacks takes away the purpose and culture of comic collecting. Part of the experience is going to the shop, waiting a month for the next part of the story. I know, Phil. I'm just saying, man, from a practical standpoint. But let's say that you're somebody that comes into the hobby and doesn't know that per se. A person that just does not know anything about collecting or the thrill of collecting or the allure of collecting may not even have that mindset because they're thinking like, well, why can't I just get all, if I can get the whole story in one book, wouldn't that be better? We're the generation that, floppies is our thing, but this generation is hooked on manga, and manga prides itself on giving you a whole volume of story. I think that's the difference, particularly, which is why manga is kicking Western comics behind right now. It is what it is. Zorb says, get rid of floppies and the price will stay the same, just like ebooks. Boaz Malone says, different audience, yes, but comics to me aren't finding a new, younger audiences easily. No, they're not. C. Cole says, Rich, we get hardcover for single issues for $20. Yes, I have seen them in the library, mainly IDW and Star Trek. Yeah. Frustrated says, Mark calls them toilet reads. They don't take long, bro. It does not take long to read some of these books. I'll give you an example. If I put on, say, an album, let's say I put on some Maze. I put on Maze live in New Orleans. Okay, I put that on, and then I put a comic. I read a comic book. I might be able to read 2 or 3 comic books on one side of that Maze story of that album. One side of the album, I'll be able to complete 2 or 3 issues. Now, if I'm reading something back from, say, the 80s or the 70s, I'm gonna flip the album and still be reading that book. That's how thick those books were back in the day. So I'm just, that's a analogy to kind of show how thin these books really are. Some series do not, Seco says, some series do not need to be a floppy. I can sell a student on a graphics static book than dealing with floppies. 1 or 2 top selling graphic novels is Raven, Love, Beast Boy. Neither can sell a floppy. True. We talked about Dr. John Jennings' Ghostlight book, and that was 5 issues. And we enjoyed that book. It was a very good story, fun story, cosmic story, and it had all the bells and whistles. But that book reads better as a graphic, as a trade. It just does, because you got the whole story. And, John kind of confirmed it that, through the sales, people were buying that trade. And that's what Marvel does. Marvel is kind of just want to do 5, 6 issues so they can sell a trade. So there's a reason why they do what they do, how they do it. So shout out to the chat. Frustrated says, Four Eyes Malone, I think X Factor may get a younger audience if they keep going down the road they're going, unless it's like a reality show. Shout out to Jeffrey Thorne, who's writing X Factor right now. That first issue was pretty dope. Kind of sad how you did my man Deadpool, but hey, X-Force is going, X-Force to say Forge is going to forge. So, I can't wait to read Dr. Eve Ewing's first issue of Astonishing X-Men. I'm looking forward to reading that when it comes out. So they tried to, my LCS tried to get me the next volume of Wolverine Deep Cuts. I was like, nah, I'm gonna take a break from Wolverine for a minute. Because I didn't, the Wolverine last story arc, which was the Sabretooth War, was very good, but those books were like $6 a piece. And I just got tired of paying that kind of money for a comic book. They were good, but yeah. Yep. Yeah, it should be, issue 2 should be on the way. But I'm definitely looking forward to reading Eve Ewing's Astonishing X-Men. I think that's the name of it. Or Exceptional X-Men. I think that's the name of it. I want to see what she does with that first issue before I add it to my pool, to be honest. Because I have not pre-ordered. I don't know. Has anybody pre-ordered the Dr. Ewing's new X-Men run? because I have the X Factor book on my pull list, but I have not pre-ordered the X-Men book by Dr. Eve Ewing. Frustrated says Wolverine Revenant was trash. Revenge was trash. Yeah, I'm taking a break from Wolverine for a minute. He says, "Wait, Paul bought that Namor cover black." Wise Milan's exceptional X-Men. I just saw the promo. I might. Jay says we need another Brother Voodoo run. You know what? Speaking of that, or should I say, speaking of Brother Voodoo, we were in Norfolk at a shop, and just go to show you, we don't, as comic heads, we know stuff, and some comic heads know more stuff than I do. And I happen to run with guys who know more about books than I do. And Herschel was in the shop with us, and it may have been, it was either him or Paul, but they pulled out a issue of the Supernaturals. I did not know that Brother Voodoo once headed up a superhero team. It was called the Supernaturals. It's done, I think, in '98 or whatever, right? So they found like one issue, and I don't know if Paul got it or if Herschel got it, but I do know when I came back home, I went to the eBay machine to try to find it, and so I was able to find issue 1, 3, and 4. All of the issues are available online, but I've been trying to find them at a decent price because they're wanting $15, $20 for some of these books. But yeah, there's a supernatural, there's a story, a 4-issue mini called The Supernaturals that Brother Voodoo was the head guy in that book of the team. It was a team book. And so yeah, Paul says I already have the full run. Yeah. So I hunted that down. So I got those 3 of the 4 issues on my way to me now. But yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So that's just something you may want to go pick up, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I was with those guys, and we were in the shop and they were talking about it. I'm like, what? Come on. I did not know that. I did not know that. And so I got back home and decided to go, try to find them. 0 to 3, yeah, 4 issues. So the man talking about a milk carton character. Forgot all about Jericho. Not my cup of tea, but I'd like to see him again, minus his ghost brother. Get an APB out of me. Yeah, y'all make that happen. Yeah, so yeah. So yeah, man, we got, it's some dope stuff out there, y'all. Just gotta go find it. One of the things that we talked about at the con was that, a lot of the diversity and representation that we want is already out there, but it's in the dollar bins, it's in the long boxes. You gotta go find it. Jay said, would you keep Jason Sean Alexander on King Spawn or the main artist? I like Jason Sean Alexander. I like his team up with Rodney Barnes. He did Spawn back in the day for a while. He's doing the King Spawn book. I enjoy his art. I like his art. I think he's cool to stay on it or whatever, but his art is okay for that book or whatever, but when I think of Philadelphia, I think of Jason Sean Alexander. I don't see nobody else writing or drawing on on Philadelphia. Someday that may happen, but I hope that never does happen, because when I see or when I read a Philadelphia book, I know I'm going to get Jason Sean Alexander art. Jason Sean Alexander did, he did Spawn for a while, which is why he's doing Spawn stuff now. He did, I think, a run or a limited, not a limited, but he did a story arc called Dark Horror. I think that was the name of it. But I love that guy's art, man. Love that guy's art. That guy's incredible. Kay says there was Strange Academy that Voodoo was in. Not sure what happened to that series. Well, Strange Academy it kind of was on a hiatus. It came back. What they did was, I think they did Humberto Ramos and Scotty Young. They did issues 1 through I think 18. They took a break and then they did a limited series called The Finals, which I think was 5 issues. They did that. Then they took another break and they came back and did Strange Academy, The Death of Doctor Strange. They did, I think, a one-shot with that. And then they came back again and they did a Blood Hunt, Strange Academy Blood Hunt book. And they also did a Strange Academy with Miles Morales book. So they've done some books here and there, whatever. But as far as them fully coming back, I'm not sure when Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos is going to get that cracking again. But yeah, that was one of my favorite Marvel titles when it was rolling, for sure. So we'll see. Says Doom is now in charge of the youngins. Oh yeah, Doom. Listen, we finna get the Doom story arc is finna be interesting. For those who do not know, Doom is Sorcerer Supreme, which is weird too when you think about it, because now Doom is Sorcerer Supreme. All the vampires are daywalkers. So yeah, there's a lot going on with Dr. Doom in charge. He said, KX, was the Blood Hunt Strange Academy good too? Yes, it was. Because what they did, their part of the Blood Hunt series was to find the Darkhold. What happened was, I think Agatha Harkness turned the Darkhold into a little boy, or to a boy, I should say. And so they kind of played around the teenage type of deal or whatever. They were hanging out with him and trying to get him to understand and show him that he was special or whatever, that kind of thing. Because they needed the Darkhold to try to figure out a way to reverse what was happening. But yeah, in essence, they had to hunt down the Darkhold, who just so happens to be a boy. And so that was their part in that story. So yeah, I think it was cool. It was very good. So I got the new Ninja. Marwan says I got the new Ninja Turtles on my pull list and the cover is fine. Tennessee Bridgewater said, "What up, Rich? What's going on, bro? How you doing?" He says, "Speaking of Philadelphia, where does the story arc go from him? This arc is assembling the Avengers." Well, I mean, again, you have Nita Hars in the book. You have Spawn in the book. You have Savage Dragon in the book. You have Blackula in the book, which, by the way, Blackula and Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer have a separate project coming out. But you have all of these characters. And from what we heard, Nita Hars is soon to return as well. The solo book. He asked the question for the super chat, how's everything at the con? Amazing, my brother, amazing, for sure. So let's go with the super chat. Acknowledge. Yes. So the con was amazing, bro. We had a dope time, hung out with some people, hung out with my peoples, that kind of thing. And can't wait for next year. The plans are already in place to do the Atlantic ComicCon 2025 at the same place, from what I understand, too. So, yeah. In case I would never guess Blackula and Harriet Tubman would team up, should be entertaining. Yeah. Well, they may not be teaming up. They may be going at each other. I don't know what the plan is. We did get a chance to meet David Crownson, too, who is the creator of Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer. Hung out with him, hung out with a lot of different people, bro. It was a dope time, man. We had fun. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Picked up the Johnny Quest. I saw the Johnny Quest, man. I was not the biggest Johnny Quest guy growing up, which is why I didn't pick it up or whatever. But for nostalgia reasons, I might go back and try to grab it or whatever. But and it's so weird too because we've gotten a lot of nostalgia type stuff, like the Creature of the Black Lagoon. Even though I love the cover that Alex Ross did, I could not find the cover, and I think the reason why I did not pick up the run in the beginning of that series was because I could not find the black and white sketch cover that Alex Ross did. I was disappointed that I could not find it when it came out, so I just didn't bother with that run at all. Which is why, going back to the issue with floppies and that kind of thing, floppies are very much a thing, and I cannot discount that. But I just don't know if we can continue spending money for these funny books just because they got cute pictures on the cover. I'm just saying. I'm not disagreeing. I'm in that whole with y'all. I'm not above buying a cover or buying cover buys. I bought I don't know if I have it around. I bought a Sanford Green Deadpool book, a Sanford Green variant that was done by Deadpool. It was wound up being a key. That was definitely a cover buy. I had no interest in Deadpool issue number 45, but it wound up being a major key, the death of Deadpool. So, but yeah, I like certain cover buys. They dope. You should also pick up the new Gotcha Man, yeah? Kevin asks, he says, are you reading Anansi Boys? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Very interesting story. You know, this quote unquote God, you know, has kids or whatever, and he's died. And they're finding out who their father is and that kind of thing. So mine says Doom #1 is all but disappeared. I mean, it was a one shot. It was a one shot. I think people liked it so much they expected to keep going. But what they did do, they did a second print of it, you know what I'm saying, and put out some variants or whatever for it or whatever. But it was all a one shot. Uh, you know, I think people wanted to go beyond that, but what they were doing was they were prepping everybody for the Doom event that Marvel is getting ready to do. So yeah, I enjoyed, you know, Jonathan Hickman and Sanford Green. The art in that book was incredible. Sanford Green is a goat. We interviewed him, matter of fact, recently. You know, and you know, he let us know that, you know, Bitterroot is coming back pretty soon. So yeah. The Green Lantern War Journal was supposed to be only 6 issues. DC made it 12. Yeah. Well, I think they like what Philip Kennedy Johnson was bringing to the character himself. You know what I'm saying? It was an interesting story about him and his mother. I think that part of the story made it compelling as well, the cosmic stuff. Sometimes I just want Jon Stewart to just kind of like, you know, shoot some stuff at a. He's a space cowboy or a space cop, and so he does things in space, right? But sometimes I just really want him to be on the street and doing his thing in the street versus out in space, you know, shooting at an alien ship or an alien creature or whatever. So the story itself, it got kind of very convoluted toward the end of it. I think they had, of course, they made it 12 issues and they had to wrap it up or whatever. But I think it was long in the tooth when it ended. But it was okay ending. So mine says I'm still hunting issue 1, first print. Yeah. Yeah, that book disappeared. People found out that Sanford Green was doing a one shot with Jonathan Hickman. And listen, white guys like Sanford Green too. So yeah, but you know, it was an amazing book. The art that he did in that with Galactus, I think that was pretty dope as well. I am intrigued with Doom being Sorcerer Supreme, what they do with that, because that can go a number of different ways. So yeah, we tell you, check out the Sanford Green interview, dope discussion. So yeah, that interview was fairly recent. So yeah, it should be when you go to our YouTube channel, you should be able to pull that up real quick. Juan says, Amani, no promises, but if I see it, my spot, I'll grab it. Grab you one for you if I see it. So look, guys, we're 2 hours in, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with your boy on tonight. I appreciate you. And yeah, so I'm going to hit you guys with the benediction. We're going to shut it down. The benediction comes from Proverbs, the 15th chapter, verses 31. It says, one who listens to life-giving rebuke will be at home among the wise. From the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich. And until next time, we say peace. We see you Wednesday night on the wrap up. Good night, y'all.